Bratt, talking to Sheldon a little bit yesterday, there's a phrase that he kept sort of reiterating that almost felt like a rallying cry for you, like meet the moment. I don't know if he's used that with you guys personally, but when you hear that from a coach, what does that mean in this final stretch here for you guys?
Probably just be in the present and be be in the moment and take each games for what it is. It's a really exciting time for us to be playing right now. I mean, it's a lot of stakes at every game, and every game is extremely important, and it's just a really great time to be playing hockey right now.
And what do you kind of expect from a team like Calgary? They play low-scoring games, but they're in a fight for their lives too.
Yeah, I mean, they're in a very similar situation. It's every game matters a lot. And, I mean, I thought they played well against the Rangers. Played good defensively. They made it really hard for the Rangers to create scoring chances and creating opportunities from the neutral zone. They're a tight team. They clog things up, and you just really have to be careful in simplifying things when you play against a team like that. If you go into their trap too much, it's going to be a long night, and it's going to be hard to create scoring chances.
I know we talked about this a bit, but how is Cody's game fit with you and fit with the team?
Oh, he's been great. Ever since he came in, great personality. He's been a great guy in the locker room, and obviously his skating, his competitiveness, his face-offs, so many things that in his game that also helps elevate my games, and hopefully there's things to my game that makes him play good as well, with carrying the puck and try to get him in scoring chances for himself for him to use his shot. And I mean, he's been a great addition for us.
Is it fair to say he plays like a predictable game? Like you've got a really good idea of where he's going to be at all times there?
Yeah, I would say so. Very simple guy to play with. You know what he's going to bring to the table, and he's extremely reliable. Just a very, very simple guy to be put with.
As the power play's had to evolve here over the last few games with, the focus point now on Timo's shot on the outside and things like that, how does that change, your approach in the offensive zone and maybe, what you're focusing on?
Obviously, my focus is always on just try to score and help the team to score. That's always, and try to see what my what the options on the power play is. Try to use Lukey's ability to walk the blue to create space for me, and then try to use Nico in the middle, Timo's shot, and just see the strength of the group that we have, and then try to make everyone elevate their strength and use that too.
Hi, Cody. 5 games in now. How much more comfortable do you get with each game with this group?
Yeah, it's been good. I think everybody's been really good to me. Very talkative, and wanting me to gain the systems pretty quickly. So everybody's been great.
You've built this pretty good chemistry now consistently with Bratter and with Holla for the most part on that line. What do you think's working with this line to have the success you guys have been?
Yeah, it's been good. Bratter's a world-class player, so you just get him the puck and get to open space and he'll find you. So, but no, I've known Haas for a while, ever since I was in Vegas, and he's been great to me. So ever since I've been here, just with systems, and he's been helping me along the way with just the city and everything. So he's made me feel a lot more comfortable within the city, within the structure, everything like that. But yeah, he's been great. I feel like me and him kind of have similar games, 2A games, and works well together.
When you get thrown right into the middle of a playoff race at the deadline, where at the time when you were leaving Pittsburgh, maybe they had fallen out of it a little bit, does that does that change the mindset at all, or does it snap you into gear even a little bit faster or anything like that?
Yeah, I think it's you're getting traded in the middle of the year, going to a team who's in a playoff hunt, and it's a cool feeling to have a playoff team want you. So to be able to come here and help this team win is something that I'll try and do my best to kind of help.
Yeah, looking at this Calgary team, they've played a lot of close, low-scoring games. They just put a really strong game against the Rangers on Tuesday. What do you expect, and what's the key when you're playing a team that is playing a lot of low-scoring, tight games like that?
Yeah, they're hardworking. I feel like they give up very limited chances, and they have a lot of skill over there too. So, it's going to be a good game. They're in a playoff hunt, going for that wild card spot. So, it's going to be a battle. And like I said, they have a really gritty, working hard team that's really good in the D zone. So it's going to be a good test for us.
Cody, one of the things that talking to Sheldon yesterday, he kept sort of reiterating, meet the moment. It almost feels like that's a rallying cry for these final 13 games. What does that sort of mean to a group? What is the expectation from a group when you hear that?
Yeah, I think it's there's going to be a lot of adversity, especially down the stretch and then going into playoffs. So when it comes at you, how are you going to handle it? And I think with us, he's been saying that the third period's been our best period, and against Columbus, it kind of held on a little bit, but we had a good video session, good talk, and we're a good team, good structure, and we play together. So we got to get through it together, and like you said, just kind of being in the moment, not feeling the pressure, and just playing hockey.
And so in that respect, so like meet the moment can sort of be like broken down into like the moment of the game, the moment of the season, like that kind of thing. Like it has a multitude of layers. Right?
Yeah, you can put it any way you want. But yeah, I think a big part of it is being in the moment on the ice. That shift. Don't worry about the past. Don't worry about the future. Kind of just be in the moment and take it head on.
Sheldon, when we chatted yesterday, you had a couple guys who maybe were uncertain. I know you want to make some lineup changes as well. Do you have an update on how those three guys are doing?
Still uncertain. Yeah, it'll be some game time decisions tonight.
One of the things that you mentioned a couple times yesterday was this phrase of meet the moment, right? What is the moment that your team is in right now, and what does that mean to you?
Well, we're in the fight to make the playoffs. That's it. So, every game is important. Every shift is important. So, our efforts, our enthusiasm, our urgency, our details, all that stuff has to meet that, that challenge in that moment. So that's it. That's what we've been, talking about here for the last while, is to make sure that, we don't approach these games just like any other regular season game. And all these games down the stretch, it's different. There's more at stake here right now, and we got to recognize that. And with the injuries and stuff that we've been dealing with as a team, there's all the more reason and all the more necessary for us to, to pull together and to do that.
Are you a bit surprised at all, Sheldon, with what you know about Cody now and what he's been able to provide, that he's with his fourth NHL team?
Yeah, I would say so. I'm still getting to know him, obviously, but yeah, I mean, I know he's a young guy and he's dealt with some injuries and stuff like that, but he's fit in very well here with us, both in his play on the ice, obviously, but also how he's fit in off the ice. He's he's got great personality and a very personable guy that seems like he gets comfortable real easy, and it's been a smooth transition for him. So, yeah, to that end, it is a little bit surprising, but we're certainly happy that we have him right now. He comes at a very important time and necessary time, obviously, with Jack out.
I know a good compliment a coach can give to a player is that they're predictable. Would you say that's like a fair way to describe Cody's game, is that he's pretty predictable, so it makes him easier to play with?
Yeah, I'd say smart. He's a smart player. I think I've referenced this before. Like he's come in, he's trying to learn a new system and things like that, and a lot of that stuff takes time. You get guys, that have been here all season in training camp and stuff, and some things just don't quite compute for them. But you got a guy like him. I think he knows the game. Smart reads. Processes the game very well, so he's typically in the right spots where a coach would want him to be, but also where his line mates would want him to be. You look at some of these goals that he scored, and he had another chance right, in the slot in the first period in Columbus, that he's arriving in the right times when the puck it needs to be there. So those are offensive reads, but then defensively as well, he's picked his spots very well. He pulls out and as a responsible F3 to end up tracking and sorting things back, coming into D zone. He communicates in D zone. So to that end, I think it does make him easier to play with, and certainly easier to coach because he's got a good head about him.
The power play obviously has had to kind of evolve, and maybe some different focal points with Timo's shot on the wing and Luke at the point. Where do you think the power play is in this iteration here now, like 9 games?
Yeah, I think it's still really kind of finding itself. I would say we haven't had a great deal of power play opportunities. I think in the one game in Pittsburgh there, we had the double minors and all that sort of stuff in the third period, which we did have success in. But that kind of ramped up the minutes and the time spent on the power play. Otherwise, it's been harder to get power plays. So. Rhythm has been a challenge, but I'd say overall I've been happy with it. They scored us some important goals. They've had some times where they've struggled to get in the zone and get set up, but overall we've liked it, and haven't seen a reason to get away from it at this point.
Sheldon, is just to confirm, is Tatar's game time as well? Because he was out.
Yeah, everybody's game time, all 20.
Bratter's really been a big topic of conversation. He's really seemed to rise to the occasion, had his hands on, 12 goals since Jack went down. How do you feel like he's consciously or subconsciously rose into the challenge and filled in a big leadership role for your group?
He's been excellent, has just gone about his business, which is what he does. So, he's been very consistent. He's also stepped up in big moments, obviously his play in the Edmonton game, turns the game on its head and helps us win that one. And just been consistently there to get us going early in games. And he scores the game-winning goal. I know it's off a sort of a fortunate bounce the other day, but he has a decision to make in the neutral zone. Does he just go to the bench and start his line change, or does he stay on the ice and provide a little bit of pressure onto the puck, which is what we encourage our guys to do. He does that, gets rewarded for it, and finishes it. It's not an easy shot either to get that in at that angle. So he's been great, and he's still, he's penalty killing. He's, defensive responsibilities. So all the things that you need from a player of his caliber, he's been very consistent with, and I think he's got a real good ability to recognize what's required from him and the team, and he holds himself to a high standard to A, prepare, and B, perform.
Just jumping off of that, your comment and Rachel's question, what do you learn about a player down a stretch like this that maybe you don't at the other part of it?
Yeah, I think you learn a lot. I think this is it's the most important time of the year at this point until you can earn yourself a playoff opportunity, and then, of course, that's the next phase. But yeah, for right now, this is big for me, learning about the players, learning about our team. We just referenced a guy like Bratt. I think you really start to see, the guys who have, the mental and physical conditioning to be good every day. We've been playing a lot of hockey. We just had a little bit of a couple days here, but otherwise, the last while we've been playing every second night and playoff type schedules. So it's hard, and so that's part of it. Then also who can come through in the moments when it's tough, and it was a tough third period the other day, and that was not a good sign for our team, and how we managed that. Certainly our performance in goal got us through it, but we showed some panic in our game and didn't just settle down and play. So that to me is an area that we need to grow in, because we haven't been like that. And through most of the third periods, and we've had lots of leads in the third. But this is a little different right now. The stakes are higher. The schedules are the games, are falling off the schedule, and with each day, with each moment, it's going to become more and more important, and we got to keep growing as a team, and we are learning lots and growing lots. So I think this is really important. We've wanted to take a step from where this team was at a year ago at this time, and without a doubt, we've done that, and now we're in these situations, which is really healthy for everyone. You think about a guy like Luke Hughes, who's young, and it's a much different situation playing on this team right now than it was a year ago, in terms of what's at stake and all of that. So, he's growing a lot every time out.
Jack called he and Jesper peanut butter and jelly. I'm not sure who plays which role, but half of that equation is gone, right? Half of that equation is gone. What does it say about a player who has to elevate his game in the absence of his partner?
You lost them, Matty.
What is it? Well, it's almost lunchtime. So what does it say about a player of Jesper's caliber that he can be separated from his running buddy, so to speak, take a little pause, because there was, but then find that game and maybe even elevate it a little?
I would say that he's a very good hockey player. He's
Is it a challenge?
Independently, he's a very good player, and that, I think it's pretty obvious in terms of how he's conducted himself, how he's performed. And I've moved him around too. You know, I've played him with Inco, I've played him with Glass, I've played him with Mercer, and he's just produced, and he's made those players better in each of those situations. So, yeah, we just went through it. He's a world-class elite player on his own, and he makes our team better because of how he individually performs. But you look at he's where he's at with his assists. I mean, those are not just freebies. Those are well earned, and it starts with how he prepares himself every day, and it shows that he's facilitating for our team in lots of ways. So we're very fortunate to have him, and obviously you talk about durability and health, and this guy's been extremely consistent. And I think a lot of that is just how he commits himself every single day to be at his best.
Is one peanut butter or jelly? Do you have an idea?
Oh boy.
I'm trying to process which one's more important. I guess they're both vital. But some people like peanut butter sandwiches. Some people like jelly on their toast.